Welcome to day 23 of the CRaFTi Advent series. Today I'm showing you the Caught in Crystal technique using Cosmic Shimmer products. I've done a few videos on this on my channel. You can use glue, you can use the flash floor polish works as well, or you can use a Cosmic Shimmer product that's called Clear Varnish Lacquer, and it's like really liquidy, but it dries kind of dries like glossy accents, but it is a much looser product than that. And basically you want to take a piece of acetate and then squirt out some of this clear varnish lacquer onto the acetate and spread it around. You could use a paintbrush if you wanted to, as long as you wash it out quickly. I just use my finger because I'm too lazy to go and wash a paintbrush. And then you just want to, so this is kind of acting like glue, and you then want to add in all of your pretty stuff, and then you're going to put a tissue on the back of it, and the lacquer's going to hold the tissue in place. But anyway, so I started off by spraying on some ink spray mists, and I was using the Lush pink colour, and then I dabbed on I think like 3 different colours of Pixie Powders. I was using Candy Pink, Scarlet, Red and Rich Gold, I think, and then I just added on some polished silk glitter just then. I think that was the Sahara desert colour, and now I'm adding on some apple red GlitterBitz. And the GlitterBitz are a gorgeous glitter that have like 3 different size particles in them, so it kind of looks like the biggest size is like, you know, the hole from the centre of a sequin. It's that kind of a size. And then you've got a sort of normal grade of glitter, and then you've got like the really fine polished glitter in there as well. That just gives a really good sparkle to the final result too. Then I've got a man-sized tissue and literally scrunched it up and then flattened it out a little bit again and stuck that straight onto the back. And I was just using another tissue to press it into place. You can use your hands, but you're probably going to get pink fingers. And then you can spray on like more spray, more like ink spray, or just water, just to help all of those pixie powders and colours sort of soak into the tissue. And then you're literally just going to leave that to dry. It would be dry overnight, but I tend to usually leave it longer because I'm like trying to get ahead, and yeah. But anyway, overnight should be fine. And then once it is dry, you leave the tissue on the back of it, and then just cut it up to whatever size you're going to want to use it as. For this video I did 2 cards exactly the same, but if I had known exactly how I was going to place die cut elements on these cards and everything, I probably could have stretched it to get 3 cards out. You know, because I was using an A5 piece of acetate, but and so I probably could have cut it into 3 sections, but anyway, I decided just to cut it into 2 sections. And then now I'm using some other Creative Expressions dies. The rectangle was from the Gingerbread Man die set, which I think, no, it must have been the year before last. No, it must have been last year. I'm not sure. Anyway, whenever that came out, that rectangle that comes in that die set, it has stitching on the outside of the cut line, so it gives a nice aperture. And then I'm using the hillsides and cloud stitched dies, and then that amazing, I can't remember the name of the die set, but it's a Sue Wilson one. I'll put a little annotation on the screen. I really love that gorgeous scripty font. I keep forgetting to use those sentiments recently. I tend to keep going for the tonic sentiment strip dies because I love those ones too. But anyway, so I've cut out one of each of the cloud shapes for each card, so they give a different cloud profile, and they just layer up behind each other really nicely. And to finish the sentiment, I think I'm writing out have a and birthday, so it'll say have a or have an amazing birthday. And I'm using my good old Dymo labeler. They don't make this anymore because it's literally older than I am. But there is another brand, I said it in another video I think, or maybe I've just written it in a comment, it's called Motex, M-O-T-E-X, that looks like this one, but I've never tried it, so I can't guarantee that it works exactly the same. But anyway, I am using gold tape, which I got off of eBay, and I like the narrower look of the tape. One of my Dymos does do the narrower look with 6mm tape rather than 9mm, but you can't buy the 6mm tape anymore, which is really annoying. So if you use the 9mm one, you can then use a long bladed pair of scissors and cut down the width so it's closer to the writing, which is what I'm doing here, and I'm being very picky and keep cutting more and more off. But I love the look of the Dymo label. I often use it quite a lot, and it's great time saver, like if you're being lazy. Like I could have found a stamp that said have Anne and birthday, and I could have stamped it, heat embossed it in gold onto white and trimmed it out, but when you're being lazy you can just punch out whatever words you need. You don't have to go hunting for a stamp that says the right word for whatever sentiment you're using, which is great. So I'm just trimming down those little apertures that I cut, so they're going to fit nicely onto my card blank. Oh, and that rectangle from that Gingerbread Man die set, it is proportional to an A2, like American A2 card, which is kind of my favourite size of card, so the proportions are perfect for my favourite kind of size of card, and so it would work with my Crafty Potential rectangles as well. You do also get the positive piece out of that die, but it doesn't have a stitched edge on it, which is why I like to use it as an aperture, because you get the stitching on the edges. I think at that point I had lost one of my little Dymo labels, that's why I was searching then. So now I'm going to stick the clouds to the bottom of the frame. I'll just place them where I want them, sticking the first one on and then adding more glue and sticking the second one on. And then using the long scissors to trim around the excess as well. Adding those clouds behind the frame gives a nice finished look too. You know, you've got that lovely stitch border all the way around then. You could, I mean, if you wanted to, you could add the clouds on top of the frame, or you could do a mixture actually. You could add some behind the frame and some in front of the frame. And you could even add in a vellum layer as well, that would look nice, and have 3 layers of clouds. So then I've just added the caught in crystal background behind that frame, just adding glue to the back of the frame and the back of the clouds and then sticking it on, and again trimming around with the scissors. Then I'm just using a fine tip glue applicator bottle filled with Cosmic Shimmer glue to stick down the sentiments. And then I'm just going to repeat the same process for the second card as well. I thought I'd leave it in for both cards because, you know, I usually take stuff in more if I've seen it a couple of times. Not that it's very difficult what I'm doing, but anyway. Oh, and I keep leaving that acrylic block on top of it because obviously the front of that background is acetate, so you want to add a little bit of pressure so that the glue is definitely going to catch between the card and the acetate. I have heard people say you're only supposed to use like double-sided tape to stick onto acetate, but I think that wet glue works better. Well, it always works better for me, because I find that adding the tape, sometimes the tape can just peel away from the acetate, whereas I think the glue has got a better chance, or you could even put tape and glue to be extra secure. So I'm just adding those sentiments on again, and then I'm using some little gold heart sequins to finish off the card as well, because they're the same kind of gold as that Dymo label tape. Now, for this part, when I was re-editing this video, I was like, why am I putting the foam tape in such weird places and being so particular? But then I was like, oh, yes, because you don't want to add any foam tape behind that background that you've done, because we're raising it up, but the because it's on acetate and then it's got the tissue on it, it's kind of a little bit translucent. So if you wanted to change the effect of this, you could slide in a piece of black card behind that part, or gold mirror card, or something like that that's going to shine through the background as well. So because you can see through it, you don't want to then add on bulky rectangles of foam tape, as you would be able to see that in the front of the card, especially if the adhesive from the foam tape somehow reacted with the clear varnish lacquer. Then you would get a really noticeable like distinct rectangular pattern on the back of your background. But anyway, so they're the finished cards. I hope you enjoyed having a little bit of a voiceover on that technique. Hope I didn't ramble on too much. Yeah, so thank you for watching day 23, and I will see you again tomorrow for day 24. Bye!